Okay, welcome. Namaste, great souls. We are here doing our practice as yoginis together. And we're just talking about coping, but also I want to link it to, change, how to flow with change could be another way of looking at coping. And whenever we think of, depending on the level of change, right? Low, medium, or high, a higher level of change, usually there's natural resistance that comes up when we think of change. And what's asked of us is to try to flow the best possible way as we can with it. And it's a process like everything. And in the yoga world, the first chakra gets very affected. Our sense of security and safety is being uprooted in some way. And then our heart chakra, with our attachment to having things fairly controllable as much as possible and sequenced routine, that gives us security. But we're also asked to let go of that and unattach to the new thing and trust however this new unfoldment is going to happen. So it's, we've been here before in our lives with many, 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 many different changes. And that's going to be the focus of the class today, is how to flow, how to allow. Of course, the breath is going to be a big vehicle in that movement. Asana practices as well. So we'll get started with the breath work. So I'm going to scoot back a little bit again. I'm finding my way with the new venue here, so there'll be some adjustment going on. We're going to start with a lunar breath, because that helps calm the nervous system around coping and change. Chandravedi pranayama. Okay, so we've done it before, but as a reminder, I'm gonna have the thumb, and if you can get the ring and the little finger, but that's more difficult for a lot of people, you can do the little finger and the thumb. So first, just close your eyes and exhale, letting go. Feel that power of letting go breath. And then the inhale, the expansion, especially in the belly and the heart. And the exhale, letting the exhale be longer whenever there's change or coping involved. Now we'll get into our alternate nostril breathing. It's going to be the same thing, several rounds. I'm going to recommend a 5 inhale, 5 hold, 5 or 6 exhale count, but you find out what works best for your body. Okay, we're going to gently block the right nostril. Inhale through the left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Close both nostrils. Focus at the spiritual eye. 4, 5. Exhale through the right nostril only, a little bit longer. 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue inhaling through the left. 2, 3, 4. Hold both nostrils, hold the breath. 3, 4, 5. Exhale through the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do 2 more rounds. Inhale through the left. You always tap like this. 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath. Focus at the spiritual eye. 4, 5. Exhale through the right. 2, 3, 4, 5. One more round at your own pace and timing. Breath. And exhale. Okay, release the hand. If you're complete with that round, Return to full yogic breathing. If you want more grounding, palms down. It's helpful for coping. Lungs change. Soften where we can on the exhale. So important, that exhalation of letting that river flow, not getting stuck. And change would feel there could be a holding, not knowing what's next. All right, and whatever foot is in front, go ahead and switch that. Really feel the belly, the low back, the side here, and swirl into it. Swirl around. If you want to add even a deeper stretch, we'd go into butterfly. We bring the soles of the feet together, walk the feet out a little bit. You'll get more into the hips as well as the low belly and low back. And really feel like you're churning the belly with the movement and just feeling what's there. And again, allowing space for it, allowing space and allowing movement. In this root chakra, our first chakra, and the color is red. Okay. Okay, let's draw the knees up and get into our full body flow. Have your props by your side. I like the blanket for the knees myself these days. And we did last week, we did it opposite arm knee. We're going to do that, but a little bit different movement with this arm coming down. So we're going to do a few cat-cows. So get the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And we're going to inhale and scoop out the low, mid, upper back. And then exhale, rounded spine. Drawing in. Safety, security, comfort, the yin. But then can we have trust as we go out, perhaps a little bit unknown with change, unknown how to cope with certain phenomenon at this stage. We'll figure it out. Exhale. Now here's that rounded spine again. You can ease back even further onto your heels. And then we inhale, we'll come up. And we draw the right arm out and the left leg out, the opposites. When we fold in, the difference is going to be this right arm is swinging back like a pendulum as the left knee folds in, and then we extend out, opposites. So we exhale, sweep that right arm back as left knee folds in, and then extend out. One more time, sweeping back. So just by changing the arm movement, it feels to me a shift in the posture, a little different. The brain has to work a little differently than what it knows. So it's changing, but we're adjusting. But we're also coming back to what we do know. So we turn those left toes under, we pulse into especially the left calf. And we're going to take a full body stretch in our downward facing dog here. When you're ready, lifting the tailbone up, treading it out, really luxuriating. And the full body stretch. Making any movements that feel good to you. Calmness or whatever quality you'd like to invoke, radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Stay with it. Just doing a check. It's all working. Okay. Very good. And then we come down, we come back down onto the knees again. And you guessed it, we're gonna extend the right leg, the left arm, inhale, lift up, but then sweep this left arm back as the right knee comes in. Inhale, extend out into the world, and then fold back. And can we extend out with some degree of safety and trust, even though it may be unknown, there may be wobbling going, we're not sure. But what supports can we have? Very basic. The earth underneath us. Warm tea. Turn the toes under the right foot. Make sure you did it 3 times. Whatever gives you a sense of comfort and security amongst the change. Okay, we're going to take it again to downward facing dog. Let the whole body integrate the flow with the breath. I'm going to go with the hips side to side, a figure 8. I'll get into the shoulders as well. And I like to stabilize and then move the head and the neck. Calmness, peace, radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Big exhales. Keep pressing into the base of the fingers, spreading the toes. Opening up to the change. Of course, there's a contraction and a resistance and a not knowing when things aren't as we know. Then we're transitioning, we're adjusting. And we're coming into our transition in our poses, into our plank pose. Feel that strength there. About 3 breaths if you can hold it like this. And then one forearm comes down, and then the other. Don't collapse anywhere. And then the tops of the knees, unfurl the toes, glide yourself knees side to side. And the shoulders and the hips. You'll notice how you go side to side. It's affecting the entire body. And then with change and coping, we want to have moments of rest and restoration. So let's take a moment here, step one hand on top of the other, rest in the spiritual eye. Feel the power of the breath as you're connected to the earth. Soften the shoulders on the exhale. Maybe even feel the warmth underneath you. What can you return to? And in our spiritual life, we're returning to what's already whole, already free, already aware, consciousness itself. Resting that again and again, training our brains back. That deeper awareness that you are helped, you are loved. We're going to rise up in our locust. So we're going to reach our arms back. We're going to recharge the spine. We're going to lift the upper body first. And feel that squeeze of the back of the heart. And then lift the legs, pulsing up. Rising up. Welcoming, perhaps, every opportunity for further growth. That could be a stretch in our coping and our change, dealing with change. Exhale, soften. See if you want to bring your arms out to the side, the super person pose. So for many of us, the first part is accepting the change, whatever's going on. And then the welcoming. Perhaps can happen at some point. And then we want to bring the hands underneath us and rise up into our Cobra Bhujangasana. I rise joyfully. In each opportunity that this day will bring, I'm going to go side to side a little bit. Then stabilize, keep pressing through the feet, add the lion's breath. Maybe add one more lion's breath with the shoulders down. And then the knees touch down. Let's take a wide open hip opener here, stretching into prayer pose. Breathing into the back of the heart. Front, back, and sides. How to flow with change as best as possible. Cope with change as best as possible. So, as we ease the hips side to side. Certain ones are much bigger than others. Okay, we know that. All right, transitioning again, I'm going to move my blanket out because if possible, I'll ask you to bring the inner borders of the feet together into our three-legged dog. Our strength is required here, balance as we lift that right leg up. Try to draw the right shoulder down. Bending the knee, rotating the ankle. Thank you. And we're going to bring the knee to the right elbow if possible in our knee down plank for a moment. Big exhale here. And then kick it back. And let's see if we can bring the right knee toward the left elbow. It doesn't have to touch. Strengthening the entire body as we take a nice giant step forward into our lunge. So we giant step forward, we spin that back foot 30 degrees, and we're going to sweep the arms back to lift the heart up in the upper body. Draw the right hip back, left hip forward. Okay, last week we were talking about seeing if we could bring the hands at the elbows or reverse namaste with the hands. And what we're doing is we're nudging the back of the heart. We're nudging the heart open. As I attune my will to the source of all power. And when we do that, perhaps we're able to flow a little bit more with change. Some things are a mystery. We want to always factor in the mystery part. We're not going to know everything, right? Important to remember. And then as the heart is nudged open, then we can reach the arms and keep that opening in the front, back sides of the heart. And if you wanted to use weights, you can. Draw those arms down. Again, I attune my will to the source of all power. It's meant to be strong. It's a warrior pose. And then we come forward and deepen into our hip lunge opening by spinning off of that back heel. Coming on top of the knees, shimmy, shaking the hips, and really get into this and feel how much you can shift side to side. Not just the hips, but you can feel the whole side of the body flowing with this movement. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to take it and turn the back toes under into our pyramid. So we step the left foot forward a bit and we lift
We did this last week too, but the focus wasn't on lifting the right toes up. Notice what happens when we lift the right toes up and drape over our front leg. You can use blocks here, of course. Again, heart and belly, really feel the belly opening, the back of the heart, open to the flow of grace. I open to the flow of grace, hopefully in general in my life, but especially in the season of change. Open to the flow of change. May there be grace in that change. May I find my way through it. All right, really feel that. I really feel it in the back of the right hamstring by peeling the toes back. And then we're going to bend the knee and step it back to our three-legged dog again, or first just tread it out. And then draw the inner borders of the feet together. You know what's coming here, if possible. Left leg lifts up. Left knee bends, rotating the ankle, drawing that left shoulder toward the earth more than you think. And then coming forward into our plank, bend the left knee to the left elbow. Exhale. And then kick it back. Left leg lifts. Left knee toward the right elbow. And then back. And here's the big one. It may take several steps to get there, no problem. Bending the left knee, giant stepping forward. Spinning your right foot 30 degrees. Sweep the arms back to help rise up, and let's reset our hips here. Left hip back, right hip forward, rooting down. So see how we can root toward the earth, opening up the back of the heart by clasping the elbows, or reverse pranayama back, a namaste. Nudging the heart open. What is this next change in my life? How can I cope better with it? We ask, listen, if there's any wisdom about how to cope with whatever you're going through right now. And it definitely helps to cope by opening up to something bigger. And here we are. I attune my will. I'm going to bring the forearms forward this time to the source of all power. Root down. I attune my will to the source of all power. Excellent. Okay, keeping the heart open through it, even though the tendency to crunch in. Oh, and then we come down into a deep, continuing to deepen the hip opening, walking that left foot out to the side, easing deeply side to side, literally getting the flow going. How to flow, how to allow. And we're physically breathing, we're physically allowing, we're opening up as best as we can. And that's all we can ask ourselves, right? And support of others as well, very helpful. It's also helpful, say you're going through something and others are going through that. It's, to get talking about it. Informal support group going on, or even a more formal support around it. Others, we're more similar than it may appear, and the things we go through in our humanness development. Okay, let's Into pyramid again, turning the right toes under on the other side and stepping forward. But the big change here is peeling the left toes up. Left hip back, left toes up, squaring over and rounding over that leg. And feel that first chakra belly action. And tucking open to the flow of grace. I open to the flow of grace. So that blood flow to the brain, cleansing the mind, cleansing the heart. And from here, you feel complete. We'll do our vinyasa again, the classic vinyasa, bending your left knee, stepping back into plank. Stepping the right foot to the outside corner of the mat for a moment. Then back to center. And then the left foot. And then back to center. And then one forearm down. And then the opposite. Not collapsing belly or head. Couple breaths here if possible. And then top of the knees touch. Knowing that within every breath lies infinite power. And we're going to take rest. We're going to stack the other hand on top, resting at the spiritual eye. Softening where we can. And that's usually shoulders, jaw, eyes, hips. Feel the power of the prana, the power of the breath, the life force energy. Aligning your chakras in the best position as you go through change. And we're going to rise up, feet hip width apart. Here we go in our locust, starting locust legs, but then going in to our cobra, Bhujangasana, rising up. Rise joyfully. Can I rise joyfully? Can I open to this day, to these opportunities, whatever's going to appear today? Lion's breath, strong legs. And when you feel complete, we are going to take it a little bit differently. We're going to walk one knee in, then the other. Come back to our butterfly before we're going to do a little bit of floor work before we do some standing, more standing flow. I'm not done with the standing flow, but come back to that butterfly. Okay, so important for the root chakra. Circle around again. So the affirmation is interesting in this one. It is about security. It's about secure in myself. And you may not feel this right away, but again, affirmations are opening a door to the higher truth, or you can say, I'm working on being more secure in myself. Secure in myself, I'm accepting what is. So make it work for you. I hope with flow of grace, I hope to accept what is. Sometimes we don't immediately buy in, so to speak, but keep opening to it. I'm working on security, returning to security in myself and accepting what is. It's a process. Or you could state it firmly, secure in myself, I accept what is. Notice what rings true to you. Okay, now from here, we're going to notice when we do our butterfly, how Baddha Konasana, how we can make it into Supta Baddha Konasana. So we're gonna round the spine if you can and shimmy shake down. Keep the central channel plugged in as the arms reach up and over. And then see where you want the arms. Do you want them in the eagle wingspan here? Or do you want them down by your upper thighs, inner thighs? Or hand on the belly, hand on the heart? Any variation that works for you. I'm kind of sensing and feeling into all of them to see what feels right for me right now. Full yogic breaths, 3 of them. Whenever your next inhale is, slow it down. Feel the fullness in the belly, the ribs, the lungs, the heart. And the exhale from the upper chakras back to the lower. But resting and returning into the heart center, into the root chakra. Softening with change, or it's forcing us to change, and we do have to eventually do it. So it's all about the, being in the space to allow it. Having a lot of compassion for the resistance of it till we do adjust. And then very slowly start to get that tension release, that trauma release going. You don't have to know what it's about. As a light shake, release the tension, the built up tension. Just longer if you like. And then eventually the soles of the feet touch the earth. And we're going to do some ab roll up and roll downs. Okay, so what does that mean? So for most people, we're going to extend the leg, and we're going to bend that right knee, and that right knee is going to help to lift us up. Okay, and then we're going to straighten that leg and roll down. Really feel that in the core, low, mid, upper back. Bend the left knee, give it a little oomph, core strength, and then extend and roll, 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 roll down. All right, now let's see if we could do this without bending the knee and coming up. We could lift the leg a little bit. And then roll down. If it's too much, bend the knee. Not help but feel that, right? Left leg lifts. Pulse up, V pose-ish, and then come down. All right, more challenging. Bend both knees. Pulse it up. And then knee to knee. Exhale through the mouth. Within every breath lies infinite power. Within every breath lies infinite power. Beautiful. Even it out. Lift the heart. And because we're focusing on this root chakra so much, it's wonderful to do an extended leg pose while we're down here. Move the cheeks side to side. You can have a bolster in front of you. Peel the toes back. And we're going to start to walk, walk, walk. Elongate the spine. You want the hamstrings opening, the spine opening, especially that root chakra opening. Hear the sound of the breath. If you, like I said, if you wanted to use a bolster, do this. Think of these moments of restoration, these moments are going to help us with coping, are going to help us with change. What other moments can we bring into our daily life, our evening rituals, our morning rituals that are going to help us restore, reset, and return amongst the sea of change? And then lifting the heart, lifting the head, walking back, really feel the depth of that opening, bending the knees, especially if you're sitting in a chair a lot. Okay, we're going to transition into our Uttasana, forward fold, feet hip width apart, equal weight on the heel and ball of the foot, resting at the elbows, unless you want to massage the scalp. And relax my brain, be wise, be strong. Relax the worried brain and come into the spiritual eye, the crown of the head. That's where the wisdom and the strength is. And let's come up slowly, bending the knees, lifting up into a chair. Lift the toes if you can. Sweep the arms up. Pulse it. Deeper down you go, the more the more rooted and grounded through the belly, through the legs you'll feel. And then we rise up. And feel the space all around you, as well as within you. And circle it. Feel the prana energy emanating from you and the prana all around you, the life force all around you. Look at that. As we come into our mountain pose, into our standing mountain. Lengthen through the crown. Yielding into the earth. Developing listening, maybe inward dialogue of whatever you're going through changing, how open to receive support and help on that. It's my next step in this change. How can I flow with it? Or if it's feeling very tricky to flow, just being with that for a few breaths. The truth of that and opening up, perhaps it's opposite. We're going to do Garandasana, eagle pose. So have your block. I'm a real fan of the block. The stage of my life. To have it by the little toe side of the left foot. We're going to open those eagle arms, those expansive wings, and we're going to bring the left elbow underneath the right. If that's too much, you hold on to your shoulders versus the clasping of the hands and the lifting of the tips of the elbows. But then I'm going to angle a little bit so you can see. So I have to angle my block. All right, we bend the knees, we look at a point in front of us. I like to start on the floor, then look up. We're gonna lift that foot and tap it on the block or the floor, or if you want to do the whole wrap, you're welcome to do the whole wrap. That would be the right foot wrapping around. It's like our strength of our legs in the chair pose, but in this position, we're going to affirm amidst life storms, I find my center. And again, modify to work for you. I'm in the midst of life storms. I'm trying to come back to my center. I will get back to my center eventually.
So you can take the strong affirmation amidst life storms, I found my center, or you can work with modifications to make it real for you. Unravel the arms and the legs simultaneously. Swirl around. We'll take our mountain pose again for a moment, a full yogic breath cycle. Both feet rooted into the earth. And the crown expanding toward the sky, the elements, the sun, the moon, the stars. This time of year. Is inner time. It's winter time. Okay, we're going to take our block to the other side. Dharandasana, eagle pose to the other side. Big, expansive, open heart. And we're going to have the opposite elbow. So that's the right underneath the left. And we're shifting onto that right foot, whatever works best for your arms. You know, you could do this or here, but you're trying to get the tips of the elbows up. I know it's tricky. We're looking at our drishti gaze point, wrapping that knee and sinking back like you're sitting in a chair. Amidst life storms, I can find my center. Amidst life storm, the grace helps me to return to my center. Amidst life storms, it stands to me. Again, make it work for you. One more breath here. Unravel simultaneously. Arms and legs. Very good. Feet go a little bit wider. And then let the swirling of the arms come up to the shoulders. Bring our hands in eagle heart mudra, crossing out the thumbs, bringing our hands to the heart. Feel that warmth there. This could be a good time to bring others to your mat. You'd like to send prayers of care for their well-being, just visualizing your home, your pets, your animals, children, the people in your life, adult children, may they be safe and protected. And then we open into a nice side as I'm tuning in. Oh, a nice triangle would feel good right now, right? So have your block, if you like it, by your side. We're going to take a wide stance. We're going to turn the toes to the right. And the foot in 30 degrees, and then hitting the flow. Through the heart, through the shoulders, through the elbows, through the wrists, to the fingertips, and find our strength, our stability amongst the change, right? As we reach over into Trikonasana. Take your time. Engage those legs very strongly. Light rest on the block, don't collapse as we open into mudra, with thumb and index finger stacking the shoulders, head to tail connected. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Let's see if we want to take it into Utthita. Ooh, really extend that side body. Feel the ribs expanding, and maybe circling around a few times, affirming energy and joy fill my body cells. Now in this third one,
as the arm, if you're having the arm come around, bend that right knee, take it into a bent knee triangle for a moment into our transition, keeping that knee tracking over by the little toe. Maybe wrapping that arm around, maybe clasping, maybe not, rooting down, either way. Big exhales, open the toes to the front foot. Could look like this, could be the clasps, any variation. And then coming up, taking your time into Prasarita Padottanasana, extended leg pose. So we did it seated, now we're doing it standing. Open the book of the heart, clasp, or hands on your hips. Really squeeze. This is more than a nudge at the back of the heart. This is a squeeze. To open, and relax any unnecessary mental burdens. Knuckles lift to the sky, crown of the head toward the earth. Several cycles here. So nothing on earth could hold you. Even though it could feel hard, it could feel resistance, but we're breathing and flowing. And then we're softening the knees and we're coming up. Watch the head rush here. So look at the floor, tip of the nose, open the arms and the heart wide again. And let's just take it back to our mountain pose before we set up to the other side. Root chakra and heart connected. Releasing our attachment. That's what the heart does. It attaches to things we know. And opening up to the unknown. And the unknown is it's tricky. So give yourself compassion for that. It's tricky. We don't know yet what the next stage is. But we can be as present as possible. We can definitely say, I need a rest, I need a break, I'm not ready. We honor that too. Just allow everything to be here. As they say, just as it is and just as it isn't. The paradox of life. Yoga Nidra really works with that, opposites. We're going to step it wide. We're going to set it up for our Trikonasana. To the other side, nice, luxurious side body stretch. Left toes to the top of the mat here, right foot in 30 degrees, expanding, opening, allowing. Heart energy, reaching out, and then reaching over, very strong legs, both legs very strong. Use a block, add the mudra, check the head to tail connection, the stacking of the shoulders, the physical alignment, and for the energy alignment, energy and joy, fill my body cells. Energy and joy, fill my body cells. Now, if you want to take it to Utthita, I'm noticing this block is a little high, my shoulder's a little bit up, so I'm going to lower it. You do what you can, that feels good. As we circle and swirl that pranic energy throughout every cell of the body, cells are smiling with energy and joy. Now, this third or fourth one, we're going to bend the left knee and transition in our bent knee triangle pose. Much, and their transitions as symbolic of the change, right? See if we could do this as graceful as possible. Sometimes it's wonky. Wrapping the arm around, May or may not clasp, you may have a strap if you want, but root down. Pulse it down. Free in my heart. With grace, I live without fear. Unraveling the arms, coming back to our forward fold. A little bit different this time. The toes are still in, the hands on the hips, the inner thighs are rolling in. And the wrists are underneath the shoulders, elongate the spine. This time we're going to bring our hands back behind us so the fingertips point away between the legs, tucking the chin to the hollow at the throat. Meditate on the breath, sensations in the body. Relaxing while we can. And then we walk our one hand forward, fingertips forward. If this is okay on your knees, it may not work for everybody. We're going to heel toe in and come down into Malasana. Again, a deep squat for that root chakra and hip opener. But make it work for your body as you going to ease side to side. You could sit on a blanket or a bolster with the heels. I know it has to be pretty wide. We won't be here too long. Very good. And then we're coming down again onto the earth. Yay. And back. We're doing a lot of butterfly today. Back to that butterfly. Baddha Konasana. Swirling. And feel your abs. Swirling around. Coping with change as best as you can, or the unknown. The next. Can I allow change? Can I, even though I don't know what it's going to be, open to it as best as possible? And it's okay if part of us resists, and it will be a process of acceptance, and then perhaps even welcoming at some point. Welcoming. All right, draw the knees in. And we're going to come onto our backs for a bridge twist series before Shavasana. So, heart lifts. And then we round down, low back, mid back, upper back, knees down. Sweep the arms up. Let's just fold those knees in. Rocking side to side, ironing out the back body. Hey body, thank you body for all you can do. So, the change that happens in our bodies over time. Swirling the opposite direction. Very good. I'm planting the feet, turning the toes in, plugging in the spine. Get ready for bridge pose. As we inhale, lifting the hips, keep magnetizing the inner thighs toward one another, rocking their shoulders underneath you a little bit more, opening. Every thought can be a bridge back to my true nature. Let's see where the arms want to go today. Do you want to keep them here? Do you want to reach it up? Do you want to interlock and press those palms so they kind of like a large plate swirling to open the shoulders as well? Every thought can be a bridge back to my true nature, already whole, already free. Opening to loving kindness and compassion, especially in this big eruption of change going on. It's hard to cope with whatever's happening in your life right now. Bringing that compassion of loving kindness as we melt down upper, mid, low back, have the feet wider and the inner knees touch, a little different from the hip opening we've been doing. Our container now. Full yogic breath. All right, let's do a little bridge walking. If you have your block, you bridge again and decide what height you'd like to bring that block. I'm gonna go a little bit higher today, just feeling it. See that on the sacrum. Okay. Oh. Really gets the heart opening, all the chakras opening, left toes out to the side. Bridge walking, fold that right knee in. Extend the right leg up, reach the ball of the foot, and then knee to knee is our signal to bend that right knee. Toes out to the side, fold the left knee, and once that right foot is rooted. You're coming up with a mantra or affirmation for yourself that's going to help you. If this is a time of change, a big change, or a big coping of the unknown. You don't have to land it perfectly now, but you could work on your affirmation. See what really resonates in your heart. And the classic one again in this pose, every thought is a bridge, a literal bridge back to my true nature. Knee to knee, already whole, already free, already aware. And now lift the heels, take your block out of both feet if it's time for you to ripple down. Melt down, knees touch, full yogic breath happening. Heart opening and allowing. We're in a big part to reset our nervous system to come into that parasympathetic, the rest and digest. We're activating things, of course, too, but the feeling overall is rest and digest. So important in change and in coping. All right, so I'm going to do the right knee folding in, and I'm going to have my left leg extending out. If that's too much on your back, keep your left knee bent. And let's circle our right foot around to open the ankle a few times in each direction. And then we go with the right knee to open the hip. Plant that right foot down, swivel the hips to the right. Use your left hand to ease this knee across. And pulse back and forth. Knee and shoulder. Knee and shoulder. Again, that hydrating and that twisting. Okay, once we're fairly stable, we're going to open up the right arm and sweep it like a windshield wiper overhead. I typically cue this every class. It's so wonderful and affirming divine life is within me and all around me. Divine life is within me and all around me. Once you've done 3 or 4 pulses of the arm, we reset onto the spine again. I'm going to adjust and fold that right knee in, flex and point, and reach the right leg out, the arms up, plugging the shoulders simultaneously, stretching the arms overhead. Once that right heel touches, reach through the right arm, right leg, right side of the torso. And then soften. So that solar side is so in the flow. So many of the asanas work for that, but especially we could more probably feel it more when we're on the ground, or I can feel it more like this on the ground. Of the meridians opening, the channels opening. And that's going to help to change so much to the channels of our meridians, energy channels open. And then we've got the left side, inner borders of the feet together, bend the left knee. You can bend the right if there's low back issues. Or take the left foot a few times in each direction for the ankle. And then the hip. Send healing energy to any body parts that need it. I feel my left knee needs a little more loving compassion, so I'm going to send some gold light, gold energy, whatever color works for you. And we're going to plant that left foot down. We're going to swivel the hips over and opposite hand to the knee as we pulse back and forth. Knee and shoulder. Knee and shoulder. And then you decide at what point you want to find your stability of the heart opening and that left arm coming up and over. Divine light is within me and all around me. Divine light is within me and all around me. That's great for coping and change. This affirmation really speaks to me. I try to weave it in many times of the day, and then coming out, adjusting, flowing. I'm being honest, if it's hard to adjust and flow, just allow that too. Just be with that. As we extend through the left foot, reach the arms, shoulders plug in, and simultaneously now the arms reach up and over. Left heel touches, reach to the left arm, left leg, left side of the torso, the lunar side. We really work with the Chandra Beta, prodding out the lunar. But the main thing is, as we release our arms, to really feel luxuriate in the exhale. Let's do this by combining left and right sides in the central channel, one hand on the belly, the other hand on the heart. Taking several full yogic breaths. And tuning in what's going to feel the best for Shavasana, corpse pose, dying to this person that's animating this form, just for 3 to 5 minutes here, softening the roles, the responsibilities, the structures we've created, and just almost think of putting your shoes, the metaphor, before you come into the house, is just releasing those roles as we enter into deep Shavasana. I'm going to get cozy and adjust. Good time for a water break as well. Doing what you can to feel the most cozy and comfortable as possible. Perhaps a warm blanket, an eye bag. All right. Guiding the journey of restoration. Think of corpse pose, dying to the limitations, dying to the structures, just being with this moment. We'll go from the crown down, softening and opening. Imagine the crown of the head opening to the light, to the life force within you and around you, the greater spiritual awareness, whatever that is to you. Feel the forehead softening and the scalp softening. If it helps to ease your head from side to side, go ahead and do that. At some point, the head naturally stabilizes in alignment with the spine. And we feel the cool air coming in through the nostrils and the coolness perhaps at the spiritual eye, our wisdom center. And the warm cooked air coming out of the nostrils. And the pauses in between, especially at the end of the exhale. Softening the jaw, softening the root of the tongue and the teeth and the gums, and upper and lower lip. Notice a sense of taste inside the mouth. Feel the shoulders dropping away from the ears, any adjustment that feels right there. Sensation streaming down both arms, left and right. Softening at the natural bend of the elbows and wrists, left and right. And sensation, pulsation from the palms of the hands, digits of the fingers. I'm breathing deeply into the floor, the ceiling, the side walls of the chest. And inviting the loving kindness in. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be blessed. May I know peace and ease. And may I be happy. And visualize someone that's close to you, or it could be several people. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they be blessed. May they know peace and ease. And may they be happy. And then if this speaks to you, somebody you maybe have a challenging time with, opening, may they be filled with loving kindness.
May they be blessed. May they know peace and ease. And may they be happy. Continuing with the body scan and allowing the ribs and the lungs and the belly to ventilate. Back body perhaps getting heavier if you're lying on the back body. Hips relaxing as much as possible. Thighs, knees, calves, ankles, soles of the feet, digits of the toes, left and right. Where can there be more ease? Or can I allow more flow perhaps with those deeper exhales? Turning again and again to what's already whole, already free, already aware. Your true nature. Just notice if this is a time for you to naturally transition and return to movement, or if you'd like to stay inward and more of that restoration. So just check in, tune in. If it is time for you to transition, you'll do so slowly and gradually. Taking your time to wiggle the fingers and toes, perhaps. Resting on your side in the fetal pose, symbolic of the nourishment and the deep nourishment we've given ourselves every time we practice, with the focus of flowing with change, allowing moment by moment, and we'll send healing energy to others, visualizing them at the spiritual eye. We'll do the 3-syllable Om sound 3 times. I like to generate some heat with the hands through the heart to send that energy outward, whatever feels right to you. Inhale.
hands together in Namaste, acknowledging the divinity within you and within everyone and everything. That's where we are one. Thank you all for being here. I will unmute the recording, and those who want to check in are certainly welcome to do that. And those who want to ease out can do that as well.